citizens of planet Earth don't get caught in the cat. Don't strive to distraction. The flash is just that. There's something behind these walls, something under the sheet. I said, a truth that's been lacking way down beneath. Oh, you've got to get up.
Good evening, Washington, D.C. and social media people. Facebook, Instagram, whoever's watching. I want to welcome you guys to the special midday edition of Straight Up Talk with Earl Rush and Eileen Torres. We normally meet every Tuesday at 7:30, but we have a special doubleheader today. I'll go one-on-one with Leon Rose in a few, and later on tonight, I will be joining Eileen Torres, and we will be interviewing Eddie Montalvo. This interview that we're getting ready to have is basically a selfish interview. I've been feeling kind of down recently, and I needed my spirits to be picked up, and I also needed some new content. So I said, who can make me laugh and who would be interesting content? I said, Leon Rose. Very talented, multi-talented. He's a host, an MC, comedian, instructor, performer, you name it. He does it all. I met Leon, I believe it probably was between Kelvin on our All-Star Salsa cruise, or it was maybe I met him first with Shaka Brown at the DC Salsa Congress. But whatever, I met him, and he's been very nice to me ever since I met him. I mean, when I first met him, he's the star now, but he was major hot ass star back then. But he was very nice to me, and I appreciated it. Very talented young guy. But I could go on and on. We're going to bring him on now because he's busy, I know, and I know you guys are busy. So we're going to talk for a few minutes about my friend over in Europe, Leon Rose. Leon, how are you?
What's up, Mr. Earl? What's going on, man?
How you doing? I want to thank you for taking time out of your hectic schedule to talk to me.
No problem, man. It's my pleasure.
So you're doing pretty good. You look great from the last time I seen you. You look great.
I'm trying, man. I'm rocking the COVID beard. Uh-huh. I got my hair cut specially for this. I look like what they call it, the Yeti over there.
So Leon, did I meet you first on the All-Star Salsa cruise, or was it at the DC Salsa Congress? So you don't remember.
It must have been at the DC Congress.
Okay.
Because I'm sure I was at the DC Congress before I even went on the cruise.
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of that Congress, I'm going to ask you a lot of stuff. Like I said, it's not going to be anything personal because my personal life is my personal life. So I don't get into anybody else's personal life,
There you go.
And it's never no drama on any of my interviews. So I don't have time for none of that. So it's going to be a very fun time. Okay. So let me ask you this. When we did meet at the Congress, whose idea was it? Whose brainchild was it for you guys to do the darkness, the routine with you, Shaka Brown, Sinai Gianni?
They cool. That started in Boston. I don't remember the year.
Oh, okay.
I'm terrible with years. Everything was 7 years ago to me, but
okay,
that could be 20. It started over there. We did we just decided to get like some of the guys together and do a little routine. We danced with a couple of the girls over there. I think Georgette was dancing and a couple of others. I can't remember.
Yes.
There's a video somewhere. And I don't know. I think I just kept making the joke that, when we were all together, because it's all a lot of brothers,
Yeah, yes.
Like when we were all together, take a picture, I just say like this darkness.
Darkness, yeah.
And I don't know if it was me that came up with it or somebody, but I remember saying that every time.
If it was the darkness, it probably was Gordon Neal who came up with it, probably.
And then I shout extra flash, every time we were around, we need extra flash. So it was darkness was around. So I think just that stupidness, it came into the being of this little production that we did.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Leon. When you were a young man, were you into dancing, or were you a bad kid? Were you in school? Were you a nerd? How was you when you were growing up?
It's funny. I just looked at a photo not too long ago myself doing my first ever show. It was just like at home in front of my family and stuff like that. And I was trying to do some body popping or some hip hop kind of stuff, but it was terrible. It was terrible. I thought, as I was like my mom would say, go on perform. Like anytime somebody would come to the house, she'd go and do your performance. And I'd put on this big woolen hat, this long woolen hat, and I would put like a balloon in it or something like that. I must have been about 8 years old, 7 years old. And I put this balloon and this woolen hat on my head, and I would do these routines, and I would be like really into it. But as I'm doing it, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if it's like my mind, my old mind now, but I'm thinking to myself, damn, you had no timing. It was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I didn't really dance that much until I was like about 15. I went to this school, and it was like I was in my class. I was the only black kid.
Okay.
And there wasn't many black kids in my year. So when we got to about 15, we kind of found each other. And then, because I didn't know anything much about these dance moves that were going on. I knew a little bit, but not much. But these guys could dance. So we would like be showing each other moves and stuff. And it got to the point where I was like, damn, I love dancing. So anytime like we'll go to these parties, these like teenager parties or whatever else, I would always be in the middle. And because I'm an ex-gymnast, I used to be a gymnast years
ago. Okay. I didn't know that.
Every so often, when the battle got too much for me, I'll just do a backflip, and hopefully that would just kind of calm the situation down. If they knew how to do any breakdancing, I was done. So that was my kind of go-to move, or I drop down into splits.
Okay.
Like a Van Damme kind of thing.
Okay. So when did you first get into salsa?
Salsa was 22.
22.
Yeah. So what I was saying, I'll give you the connection very quickly. From 15 till about 18, 19, I was dancing. I went through the hip hop. I went to like these hardcore house, kind of deep house, kind of like hard. It was called hardcore back in the days.
Right.
And then jungle music. Then I was into my dance hall. I had the fake gold tooth. I would smile and it would pop out my mouth. And then I did this competition because I was always dancing everyone. I did this competition. It was a dancehall competition. And I got up and all my friends were like, come on, because I made up my own dance to this the dancehall music. It was basically kind of a robot, but it was the raga music,
Right.
And I got up and I did it, but I didn't win. It was only like, just stand up on the stage and everybody cheers. But these people had more friends than me. And I didn't win. And that put me off. So I said, I'm never going to dance again. So I stopped dancing. That was like 19. I stopped going in the middle of the circles. I stopped doing all of that. And then at 22, my mom invited me to this salsa club. So I said, salsa? I said, okay, let me go check this out, man. I went into this place and like, I can still see everything in slow motion. Like people just spinning and the sweat dripping off their head, and they're doing all these moves and stuff like that. And the beer at the bar is like dripping, sweating,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I just had this whole vision. I still have this whole vision. And like this girl asked me to dance in the middle of the night. And I said, no, I can't dance. She said, don't worry, I'll lead you. It was a merengue.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And afterwards, I was like, you don't have to get drunk to ask these girls to dance. They come and ask you. I like this. So I was like, that's it. I told my friends, I said, listen, we're all going to salsa. None of them came. So I stuck with it, and then
Yeah.
here I am today.
The rest is history.
The rest is
The
history.
rest is history. So we're basically going to talk about salsa and cha-cha-cha, but I'm going to ask you, do you dance? I mean, I know you know how to, but do you dance bachata?
Yeah, I do bachata. I do. You know what? I've made it my not my life's work, but like during this period of my life where I'm doing partner dancing, is to learn as many partner dances as I can.
Okay.
So I know the basics of a lot of different dances,
Okay.
and I know if I'm in the environment, I can just look around, and once I understand the basic step again, I can do it. So bachata is something that I've taught over the years. I don't really teach it much now. If it comes down to it, I will. But I have teachers that do that for me at my my nights, so I don't need to do that. But yeah, I do enjoy a bachata. I don't know, it's gone in a different direction than it has to. Like I tell you a story. I danced with this lady. It happened to me twice. One time it happened to me in Miami, and it happened to me in Europe somewhere. I danced with this lady, and I'm doing my my bachata steps and whatever else. I didn't know it's called Dominican. And I don't know, it's bachata, I don't know the difference anymore. I'm dancing, and she stopped me, and she said, I dance bachata sensual. I said, what do I do with that information? So we carried on dancing now, and these two women, not at the same time, these two women like started putting their hand inside my shirt and rubbing the back of my neck and stuff like that. I don't know, and I'm sure this is not what everybody's teaching everybody. I don't want to get controversial, but that's what happened to me. It happened to me twice. And I wasn't like I've got a thing about hands anyway. I know that people are going to be washing their hands for years in the dance. And I don't want anybody rubbing the back of my neck with their pee-pee hands, We need to go negotiate. We need to wash first. We need to make sure we're all hygiene. This is why I was like, COVID, there's something good that's going to come out of it. People are going to be washing their hands again. But sadly, I've been witness to certain practices that have not made me best pleased.
Yeah. That COVID is rough out there, man. So are people wearing masks? I know we talked earlier before the interview, a lot of people are going outside to dance. But are there any inside clubs open where people have to wear masks?
Well, the clubs are open here, but what they're doing is that you have to have like the pass to get in to show that you've had your vaccine or you've
okay,
or the medical pass or whatever else. So once you get in, people, some people keep on their masks, some people take them off, but most people are feeling a little bit more safer. But I guess it's not. It's still not 100%.
Right.
But things are kind of relaxing. I guess the government they're looking at the numbers and seeing where we're going.
Right.
But things are opening up here.
Okay. So you were first located in London. What made you move to Paris 10 years ago?
I moved to Paris for a woman, and we broke up. She left, I stayed. Paris is mine.
Okay.
It's like some people argue over the kids. I got a city.
Okay. You got Paris. Okay.
No, I'm joking.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I moved for a relationship, and I just stayed. I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. I'm sorry.
Too much technology.
So what? Well, that's kind of like I'm not. If I ask this question, I'm getting ready to ask you. That means I'm not listening to you. I was going to ask you which scene was the better, which would you prefer to live in. But if you stayed in Paris, obviously, if you thought London was better, you would have moved back by now.
The scene in London is interesting. Like, I've been in it for I was in it for a long time, and then I left. So I just feel like the dances over here are different, in Paris. It's like there are a lot of people that have trained in other styles of dance that
Mm-hmm.
get involved. Like they in France, they take dance seriously. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can like whether it's hip hop, whether it's contemporary, whether it's swing dancing, they really do take it seriously. You can there are dancers that go full time in this kind of thing. They just dance, they just
Uh-huh.
perform, and a lot of people cross train. At one point there was a lot of hip hop dancers that danced salsa as well.
Right. Yes.
So I know like all my dancers that were in my group over here in Paris have all been trained in other dances, like whether it's modern jazz, contemporary, hip hop, and like they go for it. Like when they go to the schools over here, they have to learn everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that salsa is in the dance school curriculum, but it's something that people do get into with other dances. So it's quite a nice link.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have like full-time dancers in London. They would a lot of them, I'm not talking about in the salsa scene, but just full-time dancers in general, they would probably be working in theater shows, wouldn't have much time to be able to go and travel, or but over here it just seems like there's the opportunities
Yeah.
for cross-trained dancers.
Yeah. Well, it's from my view over here. It just seems like in general, the European dancers take it a little bit more serious than the people over in the States. Because sorry about that.
You're in DC, right?
I'm in DC. What do you want me to do? What can I do? Hey, Johnny. How's the wife and kids? Because if you see, it's like you see videos of workshops that people take. It's like 200-300 people in the classes over there, like at the congresses and stuff. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah.
They have a hunger to learn more than we do over here. It seems like.
I think there is definitely a hunger to learn. Like I can talk from my experience how it was for me in the beginning, and I can see how this has evolved over in like different countries and whatever else. Like pre-YouTube, we didn't have much access to the top dancers. So when these guys came over, I'm talking about the guys from LA, Edie the Salsa Freak, the Vasquez brothers, and whatever else. When they came over, we took what they had and we had to make it. Like me personally, and like Super Mario and some of the other people, we took what we learned and we had to multiply it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then when the guys from New York came over, we talked about Nelson Flores and Angel, and the two Angels. When all these guys came over, we kind of took it and we had to. Well, me personally, I took it as like, okay, I've been given something. I need to create more. So it got me in the mode of always creating, always trying to come up with something,
Okay.
And I think like when I started teaching around that time and the congresses started to get big in Europe, there were a lot of people that had the same kind of experience as me. So when I would go to a workshop, I'll give them a crazy routine and they will go back, use that and create something more. You understand? And I think, and that's gone all over. Like now, for example, Greece was never known back in the days as a place as where they had the best dancers. Now, wow. Like you go to a club over in Greece, you can like those guys have like got like some high level turn patterns. Those girls can follow anything over there. I go over there and try and go crazy, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, all right, yeah." What next you got? So that's just an example.
Really?
So different places, depending on the influence of the instructors at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of sets the trend. So you go to a certain country, you look on the dance floor, you can see how that's kind of evolved, how it's got to that point. And I think over in the States, tell me if I'm wrong, I'm not talking about everywhere, but you guys have always had some kind of school system.
Yeah.
where it's kind of like a set amount of moves. Like, you know, everything is named and everybody goes through them, which is great.
Uh-huh.
You understand? But we didn't have that. We are like, I still don't know names of moves. You know, I have to go. Like, I'm teaching my students some of the old on two footwork. I have to go and look it up because I'm
Right.
always got in that mode of creating something, or you know, whatever I've seen somewhere, like put it together, but I don't know where it came from.
Right.
You know, so I think that's what's happening in Europe because there was no kind of structure like you guys had in the States. These guys over here in Europe, they've kind of made up their own structure and added everything that they learned from everybody, rather
Right.
than it coming from one source. So what happens now is it becomes richer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you've got outside influence from like different places, you do it does become richer.
Exactly. The more you've been exposed to, the more you can do. That's why I try to tell people here. I say you got to get out of DC. You got to try to go to different places, learn, different instructors, meet new dancers and stuff.
That's it.
Yeah. So Leon, you you have 3 projects. I only know 2 projects. One involves or one in Cha Cha Cha. What's the third project you direct? Or I can't keep up with your projects. Can you name me all the projects that you have that you direct?
All right. So for years, I've my salsa group, my performance, my professional, my pro team, as you guys call it over there, was called the Leon Rose Project.
Okay.
And over the years, like I've had a lot of dancers come and go. It went from London, it moved to Paris, like with one dancer from London, and then
Right.
it's just evolved with different dancers, and it's been going for a long time.
Okay.
And that's my pro team. Right now, it's kind of like one of the dancers had a baby, one of the dancers with another dancer retired, another one moved to the other side of France. And this was all in the planning. Well, not necessarily the baby, but it was all in the planning for last year. So we were gonna like have with one of the dancers, or 2 of the dancers, we're gonna have our last congresses together, and then everybody would go about their business. But COVID happened, so it kind of cut that short. So as it stands now, the Leon Rose project is still there, but only me right now. But I am doing a nice little project with some dancers over in Paris, because nobody's been able to find anybody. Nobody's been able to work, put something together. It's only now we can start getting together. So with the pro team, that's on hold right now, but I am doing something with some pro dancers. Mm-hmm. Also, I have the Pan Am project, which is my student team. And they're doing well now that we can start back dancing. We're going to be performing all over the place. They're going to be performing all over the place. They won a competition 2 years ago in Berlin.
They had more friends than everybody else.
Exactly. I made sure I was sending messages out. Somebody, Sean's asking about the Manila Congress. That was a crazy Congress.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there was one incident over in that Congress where I was dancing with Dottie, and I think I lost some weight. I was doing, Insanity, and like my pants were done up by Velcro at the time, but I just felt like my waist had got slimmer, So I tried to tighten the pants up with the Velcro, and like halfway through the routine, I did a move, and my pants fell down on the stage. Well, they didn't come completely down, but it was almost down. Right. So I kind of had to fix them up and get back to the routine and kind of jump back in. I think we was like a bar out, but we kind of finished the routine.
Okay.
And at the end of the shows, when we come out to do our bow, what I did on purpose is I undid my pants and I did my salute, and then the pants fell down right down my ankles. I got a lot of fans that night.
Well, let me ask you this. I know you pretty cool, but I don't know you that well, and they are kind of wild over in Europe. Did you have any underpants on?
I did.
Okay. All right. I'm just messing with you. So wow, okay. So while we're on different congresses, you've been in the big major congresses over in the United States and you're over in Europe. Do you have a favorite congress?
I feel like I've been dancing for like 2 or 3 generations. I've seen like the old school, I've seen the new school, and then the newest generation, like
Right.
the Instagram generation. And I feel like back in the days for me, like if I take a period,
Yeah.
like in the beginning, the first like 7 years of me dancing, I really love Puerto Rico.
Yes. Yes.
I love Puerto Rico. That Congress was the place that everybody from all over the world came to that one Congress, and you would kind of meet so many dancers from all over the place.
Yes.
That was like the melting pot. That was the place that you would go to just get your name out there if you want to get your name out there, or go and dance with people that you would never have the opportunity to dance with.
Exactly.
So that was definitely one of them from that period there. I kind of like these places where there's like beaches and stuff like that. Like like there was a congress in Cannes in the south of France, which was amazing. I remember performing on a stage, and the stage was we performed facing the sea, and there was like this old ship, this old like an old pirate ship sailing past, and it was like it's an amazing experience. And then like it's for me, it's not necessarily the Congress as such, is more the feeling that you have when you're there. It's that like for example, I went to Japan for a weekend. I arrived on Friday, left on we left on Monday, and for us it takes a day to get there and a day to get back. So that was a memorable experience because the Congress actually finished at midnight. So, and we had to be there like Saturday morning. We had to be there at 9 o'clock or something like that. Rehearse, teach, perform, party, and then normally everybody would go to bed. But we decided to just go all out. We did the tour. We did the tour of Tokyo. We went to the party. We got up early, did what we had to do. We worked. And after the Congress finished, we went to a karaoke bar. We went on 8. We found a Latino bar. We got back to the hotel at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. We had to be out of the room by 9 o'clock to eat breakfast and then go back and rehearse, perform, party and whatever else. So that was like a crazy experience, but I loved it.
Yeah, great.
So it's all about the experience for me, not necessarily. And as long, I could tell you like good congresses and decent congress. For example, like a great congress for me is when everything is in the same place, where you can just roll out of bed and just be on the dance floor,
Right.
But when it's in 2 different locations, and if I don't get enough sleep or it's kind of awkward, that could kind of skew the feeling. But for me, it's all about the experience. I love meeting people. I love trying to speak different languages, learning about different cultures, so yeah.
Okay, great. So elaborate on the collaboration that you've had with Magna Gopal as far as your podcast. Is it Truly Naked, Still Naked, Naked on Two?
Naked and Counting.
Naked, okay. Tell us a little bit about that, Leon.
All right, so like 4 years ago now, I was with Magna in a festival in Croatia, and I just started getting into podcasts. I was listening to this podcast called The Comedian's Comedian. It's about a comedian it's like this, like what you're doing here. And he's just talking to other comedians, and I got into that. And then I met Magna, and she was into podcasts at the time, and we just kind of said, why don't we try something? And it was like, okay, we didn't know how it was gonna work out, how long it was gonna last, and it was just a thing that, okay, let's try. And it's been going over 100 episodes.
Nice.
And it's been going really well, and it's really, it's brought me and Magna together like this because I would only see her like maybe once a year, but we would always have a good time. We'd always
Yes.
connect and whatever else,
Yes.
you know. But it's only in a festival. But this, like, we talk to each other like every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and maybe more so. It, you know, really depends. But you know, we talk to each other outside of the podcast, so we, you know,
Yes.
we're really, really close, and yeah, we just have a good time. You know, we just
Yeah.
it's just jokes, really.
Next time you talk to her, tell her that I said hello.
I definitely will.
So you're from Europe, but I sense a strong camaraderie between you, Sekou, Gordon Neal, like I said, Shaka and Sion. I mean, you guys act like y'all the best of friends and brothers. How you guys become so close? Is a thing where you just hit it off because you guys don't spend that much time together with each other.
I think we just like hit it off because there's not many brothers on the scene, or there wasn't many brothers on the scene that were, you know, doing something,
Prominent,
traveling
yes,
or
yes.
performing or whatever else. So it's like you kind of
Gravitated to each other.
Yeah, we kind of get drawn together like that. It's like, okay, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Okay, let's talk.
I think there are less prominent brothers on the scene now than back then.
I don't know about in the States. I don't know what's going on in the States, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I would have to rack my brains, you know?
Right. Well, I know, but we don't need to get into that. This is all a positive thing. We don't.
There's a couple I can think of, but it's like,
you know, but it's all good. It's all good. So, how did you? Because you're an awesome dancer and awesome salsa dancer, but you're also an awesome cha-cha-cha dancer. Who was your influence and who taught you and how did you become so good? I guess practicing, but what made you get into cha-cha-cha so much?
I don't know. I think I remember like I was dating this instructor years and years and years ago, and she showed me some. I think she showed me some like cha-cha-cha, but it was like ballroom cha-cha steps.
Okay.
I kind of got into that, and then I don't know maybe the guys from New York or whatever else, but they were like, basically cha-cha is like salsa, but with the cha-cha-cha steps inside. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, that's easy.
Uh-huh.
You know? So for me, it was just a challenge to see what I can actually do within cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. And what I actually love doing back in the days, I haven't really danced with that many recently, but what I used to love doing back in the days is dancing with a ballroom dancer and try and like just do simple moves, but try and just do whatever. You know, I don't need. I really, you really don't need to use complicated moves in cha-cha-cha.
Right.
So like partner work, I'm talking about. But footwork, you can do whatever you want, as long as you don't forget to add in your cha-cha-cha every so often. So that's what I would do. I would dance with these ballroom dancers, lead all these kind of strange but simple moves, and then like add in a load of footwork, and then it's a dance that I when I'm on form, you know, when you're in that mode.
Yeah,
I love it. If it just comes on and I'm not ready for it, if my legs are tight or whatever, I'm not going to enjoy it as much.
Yeah,
you know?
I love it as well. It seems like people run off the floor when cha-cha-cha comes on. I'm like, where are y'all going? What is the story? And there's still more than half the population that think you dance cha-cha-cha on one. I'm like, I don't understand. But
I thought that as well. You know, back in the days, it was these guys from the New York that came over and said 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. You know, I was like, okay, all right, I understand. Well, back in the days, we used to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So
yes, definitely. So, Leon, you're also a comedian. Are there any places in Paris that you're able to do stand-up in? Like they have open mics and things like that? Do you attend?
Yeah. I haven't done it for a little while now, since obviously before COVID. Actually, I did one online. But yeah, there's like English-speaking clubs over here, and I can always get on somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Do you speak any French?
Yeah, I speak French, but I'm not. I don't believe I'm at the level where I can do like a comedy set. I
Right.
could probably do it and use like my accent and
Hmm.
my unclean vocabulary,
Right. Okay. Speaking of your accent, Leon.
grammar. Yeah.
Speaking of your accent, I mean, you can tell me when you first came over to the States. Is it a possibility some ladies were showing a little attention to you just because of your accent?
Yo, there was people that didn't understand me over there, man. I got self-conscious and I've had to adapt this kind of universal accent that anybody and everybody can understand, Like when I'm in London, I don't speak like this,
Oh,
you
really?
know. Like when I'm teaching in a foreign country, where English is their second language, I have to speak in a certain way that they will understand. Like I
Oh,
remember teaching in DC,
uh-huh.
and I said, okay, I was in the middle of a class. I said, okay, right, do the basic step twice. And nobody was moving. And I said, what's going on? Do the basic step twice. And they're like, huh? And then somebody shouted out behind me 2 times. I was like, what? They don't understand twice in Really? That happened to me in DC.
Wow. I'm not surprised. Really, I'm not.
And I think it was either DC or Atlanta, but I believe it was Atlanta. Somebody come up to me and they said, hey, do they have black people in England? I just told you I'm from England.
Well, I mean, I'm laughing because I have asked that unintelligent question before to people from London as well. But I know women love guys with British accents. They that like that that actor Idris.
Yeah, Idris Elba.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they just love this guy, and a lot of them say because of they just love his accent. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to learn how to speak like I'm from Britain or something. I don't know.
that would be funny on you. I'd like to hear that.
But it's funny. You mentioned the Puerto Rican Congress. That's also the favorite Congress that I ever attended. It was the first one I went to. So
Okay.
you can imagine I'm leaving DC. I'm going down to Puerto Rico, and I see this big ballroom of people just going for it.
They
And
were
then I
going
go
for it,
outside.
right?
Then I go outside the ballroom to try to get some air, and they're all outside the ballroom.
Was that the Caribbean Hilton?
Caribe, yes, Caribe. You know the one.
I was there, man. I was
Yes.
there.
And that was my favorite Congress. Leon, a lot of these guys, these ladies and guys out here, they weren't aware that there used to be Congresses with just salsa. Because now everything has 3 or 4 rooms. The younger crew, they don't realize we didn't play no salsa at no Congress down there like that, But things evolve, just like dancing and everything else.
Yeah. This is the way of life. Every generation always got something to complain about.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wish that everyone could experience the Puerto Rican Congress down in the Caribbean. I just wish that they could just experience it just one time. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I understand. But there's somebody right now that's planning a trip that's going to be saying exactly the same thing in 20 years' time about the event they're about to go to.
Yeah. That's true. Just like I always bring up the All-Star Salsa Cruises, 2005, right? Now they have Aventura Cruise, right? Different thing,
Yeah. I haven't done the Aventura one yet, but I did enjoy Stuck on Salsa. Man,
yeah.
Wow. We had some fun, man.
I mean, Kelvin put a lineup together that was incredible. Yeah, there, Magna, Shaka, Sekou, Rasango, also known as Joel, Masakote, Anna Joel, Beto, Johnny Johnson. I mean, it was kind of like a dream lineup at the time, you know.
Man,
And
you know what?
everybody got together. Everybody was fine. Everybody checked their ego at the door, and everybody was so. It was
That was a lot of fun. And I remember, I think it was the second cruise I went on, that I just remember they had a band from Trinidad playing. And I remember I had the whole cruise ship, even people that weren't even involved with the Stuck on Salsa. I had them all following me all around the whole cruise ship.
You know what, Leon? This was kind of like off the cuff. If I had known last week you were gonna do this, I would have that video because I know exactly.
You have that video?
I have the video. I have the video.
Oh, geez.
I would have shown it right now doing the. We walked all around that boat. We had so much fun.
Oh man, that was my thing. I just loved. I don't know what it is. It was Salsa that helped me discover this thing, but I just love being able to walk into a room and command the room. You know, like I just love that. I remember as a joke, I went to I was in this kind of congress in the UK. It was in a holiday camp kind of thing, and we were doing some craziness. Like they have like they don't have hotels. Like you have like your own chalet kind of thing, your own apartment, small apartment.
Yes.
So we were having somebody's birthday party, and then we decided to go into the big room where the real party was going on. And I said to somebody, you know what? I'm going to walk into that room and I'm going to make everybody put one hand on the floor. And the guy with me said, no, you can't do that. I said, watch me. I walked in there and they were doing some kind of lineup. And I took the mic off the guy and I said, okay, everybody go to the left. Everybody go to the right. Now put one hand on the floor. Then I dropped the mic and walked off. I just love doing crazy stuff like that, you know? So that cruise ship was a challenge for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and the shows were fabulous. I mean,
yeah.
I try to explain the experience to people. They're like, that was in 2005, Earl. Quit living in the past. I said, I'm not living in the past. I'm just proud of my past, you know?
So that one in 2005 was like the 4-day or the 5-day cruise?
Yeah,
and then the second one was like 3 days or something like that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think they both were 4. We went all the way to Cozumel. We could do that in 3 days.
There was one that was shorter than the other.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that was awesome, man. You know?
Definitely.
Well, Leon, I know you're busy. I really appreciate you for taking time out of your hectic schedule to join me.
No problem, man. It was my pleasure.
My mission was accomplished. My mission was to interview you and leave with a smile on my face, and you didn't let me down. You're awesome and funny. Thank you so much, Leon Rose.
No problem, man.
All right. Talk to you later, buddy.
Take care.